Now that we have the first simple problem solved and we are able to execute and read the output of system commands, we can move to the next step, which is reading the MAC address from the output that we got. So if we go back in here and look at our program, we can see that the output that we're capturing in ifconfig result is the output of ifconfig, which is all of this text right here. Now, all of this is not interesting for us. The only part that's interesting for us is the MAC address, which is this part right here. So we need a way of telling our program to ignore everything and only read this part. So only read the highlighted part, which is my MAC address. Now, the method that I'm going to show you can be used to filter anything you want, but we're just using this as an example. So if you're building a different program, you might want to filter something else from within a different text. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to show you a very powerful way of being able to search and look for interesting pieces of text within a large text. What we're going to use to do that is we're going to use what's called regex or regular expressions. Now, regex is available in a lot of programming languages because it's a very good way to search text and find interesting pieces based on rules. So basically, it allows us to define a rule or a pattern, and then Python or whatever programming language you're using is gonna search through that text for the pattern that you specify. Let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna first of all copy all of the text that I'm interested in, which is the output of my program right now. I'm gonna right click, copy, and then I'm gonna go to a website called Pythex. Now, what this website does is it allows us to build regex rules. So first of all, we're going to put the text that we want to search for in here. So this is the text that contains the information that's interesting to us. And then we can practice or use regex rules in here, and it'll highlight for us whatever our rule is matching. For example, I know it's still very vague what I'm talking about, but let me show you an example and you'll know. The way that regex works is you give it a rule in here, and based on that rule, it'll be able to match patterns of text within the text that you pasted or the string that you pasted. So you can click on this here regular expression cheat sheet and it'll display all of this cheat sheet for you. So for example, you can see that if you put a dot as a rule, it'll match any character. So it'll basically match the whole text in here. Let's have a look. So I'm just going to put a dot in here. And as you can see in the matched result, you can see that we matched the whole text. Now let's delete that. And let's say, for example, you want to look for numbers. You want the numbers that are within this text. Then let's go down and see what character corresponds to numbers. And you can see that /D corresponds to digit. So in my rule, if I put /D, you'll see it's gonna match anywhere in the text that contains a digit. So if you are writing code that needs to use any of these digits, then you'd be able to use this rule to find these digits. Now, how to implement this in Python, I'll show that to you in the next lecture. So for now, I just want you to have a general idea of what regex is and how to write rules for regex. Now, same goes for anything that you're looking for. For example, let's say you're looking for anything that comes after the greater and the smaller signs in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, I'm looking for something that starts with greater, ends with smaller, and between these two things, I don't care what's in there. I don't care whatever that's in there, show it to me. So like we said, dot matches any character. So if we put a dot here, followed by a star, because a star means 0 or more of this. So 0 or more of a dot means 0 or more characters between these two signs. And as you can see, it's matching this part of the string, the big string that we have. Now, none of this is interesting to us. What's interesting to us is the MAC address, which is this part right here. Now, if you look at the MAC address, you'll see that we usually have character, character, colon, character, character, colon, character, character, colon, and so on 6 times. Now you can see that the characters that we have, they can either be numbers or letters, so they're alphanumeric. Now let's go to our cheat sheet, and you'll see that we can use the /W to match an alphanumeric character. So in order to match the MAC address, all we have to do is do /W. Now this will match all alphanumeric characters, and as you can see, it's pretty much matching everything within our text except for the brackets, for the commas and the colons. But we want this to be followed by another alphanumeric character. And as we can see in the pattern, we have alphanumeric, alphanumeric, and then we have a colon for the MAC. So I'm going to put a colon, and as you can see, we have filtered all this up to the end. The reason why this didn't get included, because we're looking for alphanumeric, alphanumeric, followed by a colon. And as you can see there, the last element here, or the last part of the MAC address, is followed by a space. So you can actually use or a space in here, but that's going to make the regular expression a little bit hard to understand. So I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to keep it simple. And I'm just going to repeat this 6 times. So we're looking for alphanumeric, alphanumeric, colon, alphanumeric, alphanumeric, colon, alphanumeric, alphanumeric, colon. And as you can see, as I'm typing this, this is getting updated with what I'm typing. Alphanumeric, alphanumeric, colon, alphanumeric, colon, and alphanumeric, alphanumeric. And as you can see now, it's highlighting the MAC address for me, which means I can use this regex rule in my code, regardless of what programming language you're using. You can use this rule in your programming language, and if you have a text like this programming language will be able to only match this part of this text, which is what's interesting to us, which is the MAC address. Now, like I said, regex and a lot of the things that I'm teaching you in this course apply to all programming languages. The difference is going to be the syntax, but the ideas and the concepts and the way you build programs is the same. So now once you know how to use regex, you're going to be able to use it with any programming language you want. It doesn't have to be used with Python. But since this is a Python course, in the next lecture, I'm going to show you how to implement this in our code. We're going to be working on our variable here, which is the ifconfig result, and you'll learn how to extract the MAC address from all of this text using the rule that we just created.